like I said, this entire part of the podcast was basically me arguing the fact that like she shouldn't be on the council.
Yep.
And it's the part where I'm not sure whether you've seen this clip because I sent it on the Discord, but like she basically
On
said that she's
my
gonna start an OnlyFans account.
Wait a minute. I
Have
think
you seen?
oh yeah, that was the okay, that was the I think that was the video I was confused with cuz I've never seen that clip before, and then like
Uh-huh.
it out of all this whole voice chat, this whole white supremacist what is it? Marginalized voice thing. Suddenly it just came out like OnlyFans. Then I was like, "What?
Yeah.
I don't
So
get that one."
now,
That one
so do you
yeah,
know what
what
OnlyFans is?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you as well cuz the thing is for me from most of the exposure that I get from people talking about OnlyFans, I'm thinking it's like kind of like those sex cam chat like
It's
community
a little
thingy.
bit like that. So stereotypically,
Yep.
OnlyFans is a website where basically quote unquote famous people will basically send either very lewd photos or videos or even nude to people who basically pay for it. You know,
Famous people, as in like
not
celebrities,
always
or
famous, not always famous. It could just be some random people, but like a lot of the times when high profile news of it comes out, it's usually famous people. Like YouTube is
oh
famous. We're talking about YouTube or
oh
Instagram
okay
famous. Yeah.
okay okay
Like I'm not there. Do you know like Tana Mojo?
oh yeah, I think I've heard about it. I mean,
Yeah,
I kind I think
she
yeah.
recently had an OnlyFans account. She's selling like
Yep.
$44 or some stupid shit like that. Yeah. So that's OnlyFans account, but it also covers like specific kinks. In which case, in if we're talking about this case, is pertaining to her, like the clip that I sent you, where she basically is selling videos of her getting head squishes for like $100.
Oh yeah, 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 now I remember the video now. I was like forgetting. I was like forgetting what the OnlyFans video was about. Oh yeah, she was saying that, right?
Yeah, she basically was saying like I'm gonna sell a video of me getting head squishes for like $100,
Yeah,
like that, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
okay, like again, say whatever you want about the deer thing. I think that's like her private thing, and that's something that she has to deal with personally.
Mhm, mhm,
But I think it doesn't look good, at least for a Twitch like representative,
mhm.
to be selling like basically what is like what kind of selling kink things basically on the website, on online essentially. Because you're placing this person next to professionals like psychiatrists and anti-bullying harassment companies and CEOs and stuff,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So and like I'm not saying that they're beneath her because she's selling, an OnlyFans account or something like that.
Mhm.
But it just seems inappropriate, if that makes any sense. It's like
Um, yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not sure how
I
you feel about that, because I personally feel that, like I said, I don't care what you do online or like in the community or whatever like that. If you have an
mhm,
OnlyFans account and you're selling like photos or lewd photos online or something to other people, I don't particularly care. But I
mhm.
care mostly in this case where she's basically being placed in a pedestal essentially, you know,
Mm,
like
yeah.
as an
I
as
mean,
an
mhm.
anti-bullying and as a representative especially, right? Because she's supposed to be representing the trans community especially.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how I feel. Like that's why I personally don't feel comfortable having her on the console for that reason, and another reason I'm gonna mention again. But what do you personally feel about her like having an OnlyFans account?
I think for me, I think in a way, I think we're in a different spectrum there. I think from here,
Yeah.
cause here's the thing. Like, I understand where you're coming from, as in, like, I get the whole like because she's a counsel, like her responsibility is probably a bit greater than most, and so
Mm-hmm.
having an OnlyFans account would somehow, in a way, uh, like compromise her seat, I think, or like her power, I guess.
Oh
Um,
no 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 no!
but
I don't particularly mean regarding that one. I'm talking particularly about her representing the trans community in that light. If that makes any sense.
Oh, you mean
That's the
to
one I'm having
represent the
trouble with.
trans community in that light because she has her own OnlyFans account?
Yeah, that's my only concern. Like, I wonder if that was something that people will be looking at or be thinking of, particularly when she looks like when she, because like for me personally, I am not particularly exposed to the trans community. I have like no one I know who is trans, right?
Right, right.
But if let's say because and that's only from me, so it's like we live in Indonesia and like this is the type of exposure we are exposed to. But imagine if like you're from another country that's like not really that accessible to internet and stuff like that, and this is the first time they've ever heard of like trans people for some reason. Let's say ferociously Steph is their first exposure to the trans community, and she's supposed to be representing, and she has an OnlyFans account. It feels weird to me personally.
Is it because of her gender
No, no, no,
or
no, no.
what?
Nothing to do with gender. It's just like I said, OnlyFans. Like it just feels like if you're representing any community for that matter, right?
Right.
Let's say you're for women, like women rights, for example. Let's say you're for women's rights and you have an OnlyFans account where you sell basically photos of yourself, like lewd photos and so on and so forth.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
That's what I
but
meant
here,
personally. Like I don't, like I said, I don't think she's worse, like she's below anyone else simply because she's doing this. But the fact that she's doing it when she's on this high of a pedestal is the one that I'm a little concerned.
but
So,
here's my take. But here's my take on it.
mhm.
When we say OnlyFans, this like this concept of OnlyFans, is it really truly just for sex?
No, it's not sex. It's just lewd photos.
Yeah, is it truly just for lewd photos? Like, are there actual people who don't do that as well? Like, they just do, yeah, maybe I'll send you some other because what I'm thinking about it is like more of like the whole concept of like Kickstarters or like what was another one like Ko-fi? Is it Ko-fi? And then there's also Patreon. Like, I don't know how to explain. It's
I
more
mean,
of
no,
like
no, no, no. I understand because like technically you're right. OnlyFans is like Patreon to some degree. You're right.
yeah, so OnlyFans is
Mhm.
not it does not like it's not an official like nudes or sexual platform, right?
You're talking about, let's say, something like Pornhub or something like that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Basically, yes.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. It's. I don't think it's anything like that. At least I'm not. I
So,
don't think so.
yeah, okay, exactly. So that is why I'm kind of like not I'm in the opposite spectrum as you when I
Oh,
see
okay.
it as from was it from what's her name, Steph, yeah, Steph,
Stuff, yeah.
ferociously, yeah,
Ferociously stuff. Yeah.
from ferociously Steph's like uh what is it, oh god, I'm having like a brain fart of having her position or her situation,
Uh huh.
ferociously Steph's situation. No, it's more like this, because you said there's a difference between fighting for women's rights
Mm-hmm.
and then being part of like a slavery in a slavery campaign or something like that.
Uh huh.
There's a difference between that and being in a council where you represent like a community, for example, but
Mm-hmm.
in a personal endeavor, you actually have your own kind of like account for things that you want to do by yourself. Because
Oh, I see.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
okay.
You see, the thing is that I don't understand is because from your argument is that for her to have an OnlyFans account, it kind of it kind of compromises the way she represents the
The trans
transgender
community.
community, right?
Yeah, that's why.
But I don't see how. Like I don't see how you think it would compromise it in a way. Like I thought originally it was because like OnlyFans was a sexual kind of website. If she were to show her body or something, people would be like some people would be offended because like she's transgender, so it's like there might be some problems from it from a biological standpoint, like people seeing a naked girl photo but turns out she hasn't transitioned, for example, or something like that.
Oh,
i
I got
thought
it.
i thought that was what you're getting at.
No, no,
but
no.
then but then again, like she wasn't even her OnlyFans wasn't even like for that, kan? It's just literally for her getting pats,
Like
right?
yeah, weird pets or something like that. That's like my only thing. It's like it's not in the sense that like what she's doing is wrong, but more like the reputation that goes behind it. Because like OnlyFans is like traditionally pretty much known for basically semi-sexual things, right? That's what
Right,
I thought
right,
personally. Yeah, like I
right, right.
said,
Okay.
like I said from the beginning, like I don't think she's worse off as a human being because she's doing this. I'm just thinking like
Yeah, yeah,
personally that she's since she's at a point where she's like in a very high responsibility position,
yep, yep. I get, I
right?
get.
Yeah, that I don't feel like it's particularly right for her to have this sort of thing. Like, you know.
I think it's because you're looking at it in a professional point of view,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. That's yeah.
Like as in because she has this much of like a profession, I guess, like in terms of her title, like
Mhm.
for her to have this kind of like well, we have to say a kind of degrading, I guess, like degrading account. It
Mhm.
doesn't suit like the fact that she carries so much responsibility in representing whatever she's representing.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas on the other hand, like on the other side, for me, I'm looking more of like a personal uh perspective, no, personal aspect of it, because like yours is professional, mine is more personal, more of like you divide, you have a division of your profession and your personal stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Not
Like
particular.
so it's like for example, Obama is the president, right?
Mhm.
Sure, he represents US and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But if in his free time he likes I don't know, watching anime, or he likes to dress up as a girl,
Mhm.
like that's I feel like that's something that I can't judge as well, because it's like he's human, you know? He can't always be the president of the US with a facade of a president of the US. He has his own like little shit he
Okay.
wants to do in his life. Yeah, let him be, you know? Like that's how human he is, you know? I
I see.
guess,
I see.
but I understand from your point of view, like professionally, it looks kind of off. That maybe that's why you're concerned about that.
Yeah.
But to me, it was more of like, okay, she has an OnlyFans account, so what? That was my point of view, see, because it was more of like, okay, she's a Twitch counsel, but she also has an OnlyFans account. So what? You know?
Oh, okay, okay.
Like to me, it was not a big deal, especially the fact that she was only doing OnlyFans
I
of
like
her getting pats.
for pats and squishes. Okay, fair enough. Fair
Like
enough.
like like to bring in like the lightheartedness of this topic, yeah. When
Mhm.
I was watching that video and I heard her say that she wanted to make an OnlyFans account for her to get pats and like to
Mhm.
see for people to buy, like to pay hundreds for her to see her getting pats, like I was amused because in an ironic perspective, like I wanted to see just who would buy
Buy
that
it.
shit. Like if she's able to cash in a lot just for getting pats, oh
Mhm.
my god. Like I need to be where at her level is right now. Cause like I need to know how she can be able to get like $100 or so just to get pats.
Ah, I see. I see.
I would
Well,
love.
I mean, like to be fair, it's kind of weird because the thing is that again, she's selling it for. I think she mentioned it's $100 per pets or pet per squishes. But like I mentioned
Exactly.
before, like Tena Mojo, right?
Uh-huh.
She's selling like a few pictures for like like $44 at most.
Yes.
And she has
That's
like
why.
yeah, that's like it's just amusing, I guess, to see how much
That
like
that's why I was like, this is incredible. Like I was actually like, to be honest, I was actually rooting for her because I was like, I just want to see how far you can go, man. Like
I
I want to
can
see
go
who
for it. It's
actually.
okay, okay.
That's why I thought, to me, like in a lighthearted way, I thought like, okay, that's impressive, man. Like you want to make your OnlyFans account with that kind of viewpoint of getting 100 from just pets. Go for it. I want to
Go
see,
for
because
it.
if that's like
That works out.
if that's the new business strategy that is like hyped or being a trend, I want to be in on it too. I want to pet my dog and get hundreds of dollars just to petting my dogs, you know? But I can totally understand why you think like it's professionally
Yeah,
weird, because
professionally a little compromising. Yeah.
Cause like for me, like working in a firm, it's all about professional, how you are, how you carry yourself in the office or
Mhm.
with your client, right? You have to have this kind of persona, your own separate persona.
Mhm.
So I also fear like those kind of stuff. Sometimes like I think about like what if people know that I actually like cosplay and enjoy cosplay. Like how would my clients think if the person who's handling their shit loves to cosplay on the side? Like
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
what
No,
would
no,
they
that's
think?
exactly what I meant. That's like my only concern when it comes to like the like her
Yeah,
representation. Yeah.
yeah. That's also something I was like also dealing with like uh, some many years ago or some months ago because I thought like, oh shit, like
Mhm.
if I were to cosplay, that means I can't do my job right. But then I started realizing like, who gives a shit actually, Like
Yeah.
like to be honest, if the client finds out, like what more can you do? Like if you really like to do what you want to do, just do it.
Mhm.
And I guess like it just depends on your comfortability. I mean, if you think that professionally you have to keep a certain image or a certain way to live to keep up with that kind of moral
To keep
standard
up
that
with
you have,
appearances and so on and so forth, right? Yeah.
yeah, or with the standard that you have, you're
Mhm.
living off like that, then by all means just do it. But if like Steph, like she wants to freaking get hundred of bucks getting pats. Weirdly enough, only through OnlyFans, even though she could have gone through Patreons or other
Patreons or
forms.
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Still, I think it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like even I'm pretty sure that psychologists in the council probably
Mhm.
has some weird kinky shit going on.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's
yeah,
human.
yeah,
They have
yeah,
their
yeah.
they have
Humans they have
their
their
incredible
vices.
stupid
Yeah.
side, and then they also have their professional side. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I get what you're saying, Zay. I get why you think it's what is it called? What did you say?
Like
It's
professionally compromising.
yeah, I get it. Yep, yep.